Hey again guys! So there's been some massive improvements and changes since the last update video, which was almost 1.5 months ago, so today we'll go through all of that. In fact, my last update video was before I published my detailed orb devo guide and my video guide about tier unlocks. And I just wanted to say a big thanks for all the kind comments on those videos. That has really been appreciated, and it has been a joy to learn about your own journeys in the game and to offer advice where I can. And while I was gone, I was also sharing a lot of brief game tips on the YouTube community tab, which you can check out if you haven't already. But okay, enough about all of that. Let's get into the update, as there's quite a bit to cover. And firstly, in terms of my farming runs, I'm now running to about wave 8400 on tier 10, which was previously around wave 5 to 6,000, and I earn about 40 trillions each run from about 5 trillions previously, and I have nearly 2 quadrillion lifetime coins, which was previously 340 trillion, and I have peak coin per minute around 100 billion per minute, which was previously around 15 billion last update video. And my overall approach is the same as before, simply doing orb devo. And it's been really nice to see that I've been able to continue to progress effectively with orb devo, and that it hasn't stagnated in any way. But so yeah, obviously a lot has happened to make me experience such progress, and I'll do my best to recap on all of that. So let's get started with the workshop. As I normally do a very heavy AFK orb devo approach, and I was away for almost a month on vacation, traveling to Europe with limited Wi-Fi, it meant that I have been more AFK than usual and only playing via emulator. And since I was going to be so extremely AFK, it was natural for me to focus most of my efforts overall on econ and the type of improvements that would further boost AFK runs. So in my previous update video, I had about 340 trillion lifetime coins. I now have 2 quadrillion, and in that journey, the first key focus was to unlock enemy level skip enhancements. So once I reached roughly 800 trillions, I respec to unlock it quicker by simply putting less into health and damage enhancements. I think that type of strategy is very efficient because it is easier to do so when you have a lot of coin available, instead of when you're scraping by after each single run. So basically I just sacrificed some coins temporarily that was previously in health, regen and damage workshops and enhancements, and then I just gradually leveled those back up again before the next tournaments. Because it wouldn't really matter if my damage or health workshops were at 5,600 or 5,400 for my farming runs, and also not really for most tournaments. So yeah, I think that's a pretty clever redistribution every time you respec, especially in regards to enemy level skips, workshops and enhancements, as it helps your farming and progression, but at the same time you avoid having to spend days saving up coins to get those up a few levels. Another tip, by the way, when it comes to respecing is to lab your utility workshop discount a few levels before you respec. That just virtually nets you some coins when you have a fair amount already invested in the enemy level skip workshop levels. So enemy level skip enhancements has been the major change since the last update, but I've also gotten the starting percentage of enemy attack level skips from about 20% to 30% and a bit higher for enemy health level skips, which previously 20%. And as I wanted a very AFK friendly approach while being busy on vacation, I maxed my thorns and my range, which were 2 workshops that I normally would keep at 0 for greater flexibility. But so yeah, that's really the main stuff for the workshop. The plan ahead for the workshop is twofold. I want to unlock attack speed enhancements, and I want to continue to upgrade the enemy level skips, workshops and enhancements. And I'm not planning on getting the orb size enhancements anytime soon, as I don't want or need orbs to do more killing than they already do. Next, let's get into tournaments and milestones, as there are some key updates to share here. Well, particularly for milestones, but let me cover the tournaments first. And I am happy to say that I've been able to consistently move from champ to legend tournament recently, still without any purchase of any stone packs, and even when having only focused on econ the last month or so. And I'm happy that I'm able to stay in legends even by running my devoed workshop. I definitely could have stayed in legends earlier if I bothered to waste gems and respec to blender every tournament, but I couldn't be bothered to do that as I need all the gems I can get for my modules. And another one of the things that I really enjoy now is that I don't need to spend so much time on long tournament runs, so that means I can farm more coins and cells instead. And I'm extra excited as I think I will start to finally earn keys once I start to focus damage again this upcoming month, which I'll talk more about when we get to the labs. But since I don't buy stone packs, I know that I will eventually completely stagnate in terms of tournament progression. But yeah, and on that note, if you follow my journey up until now, you have noticed that I do not buy any stone packs. I think they're ridiculously expensive and I don't want to support that or give the developers the idea that they are correctly priced by any means. The prices are just outrageous, especially considering how little you get from it. And the same goes for the gem packs, which are ridiculously expensive as well and which I will never touch. But what I do buy, though it is also crazily priced, is the premium milestone passes. They are also not cheap, and while the value of what you get versus what you pay is still horrible, it is much better value than stone packs. But the second reason I'm buying the milestone passes is because they are a more core part of your tower journey. And it is something that you work towards and earn. Sure, you still pay to get some additional stones and gems, but ultimately it is your progress and achievement in a run that results in you getting them. So they're not just better value, but feel a lot better earning, and they give dopamine boost for a prolonged time instead of just the instant gratification of stone packs that fade off quickly after getting one. So yeah, anyways, that's my rationale for why I'm getting the milestone passes. And since the last update, I got the milestone package for tier 12 to tier 15, which gave me some immediate gains, and which gave even more once I pushed my milestone progression in these. So among others, quite a while ago I finished tier 11, which was easy. Then for tier 12, which is about 100 times harder in terms of enemy damage, I first settled on the wave 2500 milestone and would later return for the 4500 milestone. Thereafter I did the wave 300 on tier 15, which is a major progression milestone as it enables you to unlock tier 16 and get the chain lightning labs, chain thunder and lightning amplifier, which are labs you'd want as soon as possible if you have chain lightning as ultimate weapon, especially the lightning amplifier lab, because it makes it so that you can start to easily handle the scatter enemies. And since reaching wave 300 on tier 15 is such a big deal, that was why my latest video was a video about that and tier unlocks, instead of an update video. And so if you want to get more into the strategies to unlock new tiers, check out that video as I used a lot of different cheese strategies to trick my tower through them while still being fairly weak. And then finally, just a few days ago, I tried the tier 12 relic milestone run and it turned out to be quite easy. I may create a more detailed video about it in the future, but I was just overall really surprised how easy it went. I even used quite useless modules for the run and it was still easy. And that was with a health build, which is seemingly still perfectly viable for this and possibly even tier 13. And reaching that tier 12 milestone is also super nice as it gives you a 10% lab speed increase relic. But so yeah, overall all this milestone progression meant that I netted a lot of gems and stone income from all these milestone runs. So next let me show you what the stone earnings from this and the tournaments have been used on. So first, as I was earning a lot of stones from milestones, I first dumped the immediate stone gains into decreasing the death wave 2 more levels. As my main goal have basically been to get all the cooldowns maxed, it was a natural thing to do that would address all aspects of my game. It would net me more cells and coins while farming, it would help with death wave health multiplier in legend tournaments, and so forth. And as I'll get into deeper in a second when I talk about modules, because I got lucky and pulled 2 Multiversus Nexus modules early on and now have it as Ancestral, it meant that my sync time dropped even more. First from 98 seconds to 87, and eventually, at the time of recording, now to 77 seconds. And after my last tournament rewards, it will soon go down to 74 seconds. The only reason why I'm not doing this just yet is because I need to earn enough medals to reduce my golden bot cooldown together with it first. And what I want to emphasize here is that I wish I did a better job of keeping my golden bot cooldown the same throughout this, such as having spare medals on hand so that I easier and quicker could reduce the bot cooldown. Because whenever the golden bot sync was broken and not the exact same time as the Multiverse Nexus sync time, it led to a massive drop in coin income for some time, and I completely underestimated how massive impact it had, so I just wanted to emphasize that. In normal runs now with synced golden bot, my bot earns about 45% of all my coin income. But when it's not synced, this drops massively. Even going from a sync time of 98 seconds to 80 seconds led to a decrease in coin gain when I didn't have golden bot synced. And so, unless you're late game where you're just trying to perma everything, I highly recommend trying to sync your golden bot to your ultimate weapons. Anyways, so that was the first initial use of stones, and thereafter I focused on black hole duration to get that to a point where I could achieve permanent black hole from milestone runs and tournaments. First I just did one tick into black hole duration, which was to ensure permanent black hole when disabling Death Wave and Golden Tower for the milestone cheese runs. And by the way, a great tool to check sync times is this. It makes it easy to see the various ways to achieve permanent uptime, etc. And it's what I've usually have used in the past when I planned some of my strategies. And then, as I needed sufficient black black hole size for my cheese runs, and anyways needed it bigger for my full range orb devil, I got 1 tick in black hole size as well. And as I mentioned a long while ago, I had decided to not increase the spotlight or chain lightning damage for a while. They had been key in making me get to the top in champ tournament, but they weren't gonna make any immediate difference in legends for me. And I think that this is really important to emphasize. Too many, too often just spit out what is the so-called correct order, but without properly taking into consideration all the factors and variables at play. So take any tip from anyone else, always with a grain of salt. You know your situation the best, so what aspects will best improve your current situation is something you gotta seek to figure out and navigate yourself. Friendly tips are nice, but you gotta do you. But so yeah, for me, since my last update, it has made most sense for me to focus on econ ultimate weapons and get these in a solid condition. And though I've just said that you shouldn't rely on others to make your decision, I also run my data through optimizer sheets. I don't follow them 100% as they fail to take into account a lot of different things, but it can help with some of the core math considerations. So for example, the optimizer sheet is now suggesting that I first do some golden tower duration and some bonus before doing the final golden tower cooldown, which is nice and useful information, but that fails to take into account the other benefits I get from a lower total sync time, such as increased cells. So I weigh that up a lot higher and will do the final golden tower cooldown first. And it goes without saying that you should always be careful of trusting optimizer sheets 100%, as they have a lot of caveats and things that they do not consider or include in their calculations. And secondly, though I haven't finished my cards just yet, I am eyeing some card masteries that I may squeeze in earlier too, particularly the Wave Accelerator Mastery, as it is basically an enemy balance card 2.0, making the better part of runs start earlier and thus ultimately netting you a lot more coins and a lot earlier. I know I would only be able to unlock it and not afford to upgrade it further, as even the first lab level cost 1 quadrillion, but I think it will still be worth it at some point to unlock it. So in terms of the next steps, next I will do Golden Tower cooldown, then a bit more in Golden Tower duration and bonus, and probably Wave Accelerator Mastery, and maybe another Death Wave ring, and then I get to the notorious step of maybe saving up for the crazy expensive 4th beam on Spotlight. Maybe. I think before that though, I will likely get more ultimate weapons such as either Chronofield or Smart Missiles. But time will tell. It is time soon though to focus back on damage ultimate weapons. Soon. But so yeah, that's the ultimate weapons for you. Then for cards, there's nothing massively new. I'm only pulling these nowadays when they appear as event missions, and so I was kinda glad that some of the last events have had it, as I really wanted my Wave Accelerator to 6-star and overall get closer to card masteries. And oh, of course, after all the milestone unlocks, I got enough gems to unlock another card slot. This didn't really change anything for farming, as I already had enough cards for my Orb Devil with 14, but it just helped my damage and survivability in tournaments and milestone runs, and gave greater flexibility for daily missions and event missions, so that I have a flex spot for the demon mode, nuke, energy shield, and so on in terms of event missions. So for example, right now I have the nuke activated, and that is simply because I'm doing the event mission for nuke. And the only reason I even got the additional card slot was because of the quick influx of gems that I got when I did my milestone pass. Otherwise, I would not have done it, as I find it nearly impossible to save gems when I know there are several key modules that I'd like ASAP. So yeah, we're gonna be stuck with 15 card slots for a long while until I have more or less all the modules at Ancestral level. In terms of perks, nothing has really changed, and I keep having my bans, primarily from an AFK approach. It was a lot of fun, however, changing this completely for the various milestone runs that I did, such as having health as first pick choice for the tier 15 wave 300 goal, and so forth. But now we're back to normal. And as I keep getting stronger and stronger, the survivability perks are less and less needed in my auto pick perk pool, though I don't have much else that I really feel like adding. What this means though is that I'm gonna stop at 12 auto picks for a long time, as I don't see a need to increase beyond that. And as the game addressed the issue of fast enemies teleporting through the wall, it also meant that I got back to taking the knockback trade-off card from my Orb Devil farming. I anyways didn't have room to ban it before, so it was only in runs that I could manage that I would avoid the perk, but now there's no such issue anyways. And for labs, there's a lot to cover. I'll try to give you somewhat of a summary first and then show you the lab research history. And nowadays, I tend to earn 4x multiplier on 3 to 4 of my labs. Currently it's on 3, but sometimes I would also have it on 4. So as I was respecing to unlock enemy level skip enhancements, I got some level in workshop utility discount just to earn some coin back. And as I mentioned before, I would only get back to doing lab speed lab once I felt that I didn't have 5 major other labs that I thought was more important. So only starting last week is when I've added lab speed back, and now it's mostly going to be perma labs until at least level 70. And I continue to level up my attack speed for quite some time, though I've taken a short break from it now. And I've gotten some levels in critical factor, which will be a lot more prioritized in the near future. I've also gotten a fair amount of levels in health and regen, and as I mentioned before, I like to keep the regen and wall health the same, so that one tick in wall regen can fully heal the wall. And as I unlocked wall health enhancement and ancestral module substats, my wall health is now bigger than my regen, and so now I'm focusing regen simply to catch up to it. And I will continue to just keep these two in tandem close to each other, though I may take a full break from it soon and focus damage for all my labs. Oh, and by the way, health and regen is a great one to look at optimizer sheets for, as that stuff is less situational and just shows the best return of investment. So for example, in terms of pure health, I know that I will benefit the most from a few levels in wall fortification and death wave, etc. And the reason I'm not doing death wave health just yet is that I'm not able to maximize my death wave health in legend tournaments right now anyways, so it would just be a waste of time. And as mentioned in the previous update, I was first focusing on some labs that would help my legend tournaments, such as increasing the cash bonus, because the tournaments are short, so having some extra cash comes in handy to upgrade more before dying. And it also has the effect of being able to upgrade the enemy attack level skips quicker in a run, which I am now easily maxing in a run, and which also results in more cells. And to further enhance that side of farming, I also got my enemy attack level skips maxed, and gradually doing the same for enemy health level skip, but which is much less important as it doesn't really do anything for my farm runs and has a minimal effect for my legend tournaments right now. And oh, I did get the orbs boss hit, simply as I thought it would be helpful to my tier 12 4500 milestone attempt, and it is a quick lab to finish. And as you see, I still haven't really touched any wall health labs since basically I first built my wall many months ago. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my main focus of the last month or so has been on economy. So my coins per kill bonus has gone up to 57, and I finished standard perk bonus, finished spotlight coin bonus, I finished a black hole coin bonus, and I finished the golden tower duration, and also increased golden bot duration 5 levels. Eventually I will also max death wave coin, but first a bit more of coin per kill and golden bot duration. But now I'm back to only having one of the 5 lab slots dedicated to econ, so it will be a much more slow and gradual process. And so for ultimate weapon research, it's basically been econ labs, and now ahead I'm going to start doing some more damage labs, including shock multiplier and chance, spotlight missiles, and so forth. And after I completed the tier 15 wave 300 milestone, I got lightning amplifier to level 5, which has meant that I'm killing scatters quite easily now. And I also got the black hole disabled ranged enemies, simply to help with situations where I need permanent black hole. And due to some event missions, I did some quick quality of life labs by getting recharge nuke and recharge demon mode, simply so that I can finish this easier for the event mission. For perks, as mentioned, I finished the standard perk bonus. I'm not touching any more perk labs for a long while, but eventually we'll get banned perks level 6, but it's just too lengthy right now and not a must for my farming. For the golden bot, I've gotten the cooldown to level 13. I will do one more level in it when I decrease my golden tower cooldown, simply so that I will match my new sync time from 77 seconds to 73 seconds, including a 3-second reduction for medals. And then lastly, modules. And with that crazy mission we got, where we had to merge 160 modules, I decided to quickly maximize the rare shards, which is anyways a good lab to maximize early. And I also got 1 level in the core effect bands just to help with the rolling multiverse nexus module, as I knew I would be rolling that a lot. And a while ago I got a fair amount of levels in reroll shards before I focused econ, and now I'm back to more or less permaslotting this, as I will be having a lot of rolls needed in the future now as I'm getting closer to having quite a few more ancestral modules. Then I'll just quickly show you the history, and you can pause this if you like to see it in detail. So as mentioned, I got the utility discounts, got various regen and attack bonus, and then I started more heavily fully in terms of coins. So various kind of enemy attack level skips, coins, a lot of coin focus. And then we are back to where we're at today. And then let me just give you a window into what I'm planning ahead and what I'm considering important labs to get done. In terms of defense, it will largely be the tandem upgrading of health and regen labs. For health, it's a variation of Deathwave health and health at first, but later some more wall fortification as well. And for regen, it's basically 3 levels of health regen, then 1 wall regen, then 3 levels of health regen, and so on, as that's the most efficient way. In terms of attack and damage, I will be focusing on attack speed, crit factor, shock multiplier, shock chance, and spotlight missiles. In terms of perks, I'm not really going to touch that for a long time. In terms of charge, I will be levying reroll shards for a long time. For econ, I soon want to finish Deathwave coins, getting golden bot duration higher, and a few more leveling coins per kill. But none of this is my high priority right now, so I'll be focusing more on damage for a while, as I've focused econ heavily already for a month. And now that I no longer feel that I don't have space for lab speed, it will be perma-slotted into at least level 70. Beyond that, I would love to finish out level skips, get more core effect bands, get higher wall thorn levels, more levels in recovery packages, and module shard discounts. But right now there are not spots for these just yet. In terms of the event, I respec the golden bot to get my cooldown reduced quicker, and so this event and the last one, I really had to get the event package to make the cooldown reduction happen effectively. But it has been particularly tricky as there's also been many good relics. I kinda wish there had been some more absolute defense trash relics so that I could have easier used more medals on my bot, but unfortunately they've been pretty solid. And again, here I just want to emphasize the effect of having synced golden bot. Initially, when I got my sync time reduced from 98 seconds to 80, plus some other upgrades, I still had lower coins per hour on average than before it, until I got my golden bot synced again. So yeah, so this is what I'm looking at, and then when I have 500 medals, I'm gonna drop this down, including dropping my golden tower cooldown 1 step. So I've already mentioned it, but early on I pulled 2 Multiverse Nexus copies and was able to make it Ancestral, which reduced my sync time by 11 seconds. This was obviously nice, though it caught me off guard at first and completely broke my golden bot sync, and I was not ready at all to reduce it that drastically. And then rolling substats for the MVN has been very painful, and I'm still trying to get the GT bonus substat on it. Secondly, I also have gotten the ACP to Ancestral, and very recently I finally got all the stats on it that I'm satisfied with. And so only when I don't have anything else to spend reroll shards on, then I will get back to it just to try to get a better Thorns substat, but that will be many months until, I imagine. And then the sad situation is that I still only got a legendary dimension core, and I have been doing various testing, and because the legend tournaments are so short and that I'm not able to maximize Deathwave health yet, using MVN is actually better for me right now in tournaments, even when the substats on it are essentially econ focused. So yeah, I hope that changes eventually and that I finally get some more dimension core. It's just the worst game mechanic I've ever encountered in a game where you have no influence whatsoever on these pulls. Most notable games give you some mechanism towards earning the thing you need, whether it's through exchanging with existing items you got, purchasing with in-game currency or money, trading, wish lists that increases your likelihood of pulling a respective mod, and so forth. At some point this really should change in the game, because having it completely 100% random is just plain stupid and surely makes some people quit the game in frustration. But yeah. And oh, I would have loved to wait with rolling and pulling modules on some update videos, but because I'm obsessed with efficiency, I can't get myself to waste the opportunity cost of immediate improvements instead of waiting potentially weeks before getting that. So I'm sorry about that, and maybe that changes in the future when it may be more worthwhile to have a larger pool of shards to roll at once. But for now it is just better for me to just roll as I get shards to get my substats sorted. And just yesterday I got my Singularity harness as Ancestral, and I was super lucky with 20,000 reroll shards, was able to get this, which is pretty solid, and I only want to get the enemy health level skips up to the Ancestral substat eventually. And then in terms of gameplay, I just wanted to say that it is now extremely AFK. I basically just upgrade some enemy attack level skips in the beginning, and that's really it. If I check in on the game a bit later, then I just max health, regen, wall health, landmine chance, and max recovery. But even if I was not really able to do any of these, the run would just be a few hundred levels shorter. And though it doesn't really matter because of my low sync time, I sometimes put a few levels in free attack upgrades, or max it late in a run at 5,000 plus. It doesn't really change anything either positively or negatively, and I mostly just do it for the free upgrade event mission. And then at around wave 8,500 my regen can't keep up anymore and I die. So that's how I've been able to basically more or less fully AFK the game while being away for over a month. Naturally though, as someone who's normally obsessed with efficiency, it hasn't necessarily always been 100% efficient, but it's been a joy to enjoy all other sides of life fully without sacrificing that much tower growth. And so yeah, that's really it in terms of my overall update. This one became a bit long and chaotic as over a month has passed since last time, but I hope you found it helpful. It's been pretty solid progress, especially considering that I've not really touched the game much at all. And next, I'm thinking of cooking up some more guides on various subjects, so if you have any input on that, do let me know. I also hope you had a wonderful Christmas celebration and wish you all the best for 2025, and I wish you all the best on your tower journey. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.